ensuring that our movements are always in a forward motion and never backwards, so we're always pushing forward with our thumb rather than pulling back. Work up to that area. Swap our hands over again, so our right hand supports and our left hand does the thumb walking. And walk slightly to the side of where we did our first walk, along the spine, in those nice, firm, smooth movements along the area. Swap our hands over again, so full support, and work back up. And for final, third time, swap the hands over, support with the right hand and work down with our left. Slightly lower this time, so we're working in a different area of the spine. Slowly down that spinal column to the end. Swap our hands over and repeat coming up. Once we've completed our final walk on the spine, we begin on the toes. So on the big toe, which is the head representation, work down 5 times, using that same thumb movement, down all the way to the base of that toe, and up again. Then work along the toe, find where there's a slight raise in the big toe and apply deep pressure, keeping that full support on the foot. And this is a pressure to the pituitary gland. Work down our other toes in 3 lines on each toe, working on the sinus area with that same movement again with full support of the foot. And if we're working with the same pressure and the same rhythm, we can start to feel any differences in each of the movements that we're making. Differences in texture, in feel. And ask your client whether she feels any different or he feels any different with each pressure. Come back to our big toe and we're up the toes this time. So all the way from the base of the toe up to the tip and back down. Up that toe and back down. Feeling any differences. So the same 5 lines that we're working on. And then on to our other toes. So our 3 lines again. Keeping full support of that foot at any time. and keeping our nice rhythm. So nice even pressures to the tip of the toe and back down to the base. So keeping with those 3 lines that we worked on previously. And finally onto the little toe. Still doing those 3 lines and keeping the support. Come back to the big toe and work across the top, all the way from the outside, making sure we've got full support of the toe, so our client doesn't feel uncomfortable at any time. Complete this, feeling for any differences again. Come to the base of the toe, around the neckline, and work round from the outside to the centre in 3 lines. Now we can do some pressures with our fingers. So on the front of the toe, with your first finger, same movement around the front from the outside to the centre in 3 lines. Using that first joint again, nice even pressure and nice slow rhythm. Come to the front of the foot and work down with that same finger 3 times on the front of the big toe, working down to the joint and back up to the nail and back down to the base of the toe. Trying to keep the same pressure throughout, the same rhythm, and feeling for any of those differences that we mentioned before. Working on the toes, keeping support again, working down the front of the toes to the base, working along the teeth, feeling for any differences till we reach the base of the toes. And finally on the small toe. So that's just 1 line on each of the toes, working down the teeth area. Now with full support underneath the foot with our thumbs, use our fingers in between the bones of the foot to apply pressure, working the way down. Come back up and work down the same line. So we're doing lymphatic drainage with nice even pressure again, keeping support. Come in slightly and repeat. And repeat a final time. Glide our hands off, making sure we keep full contact. And with our finger again, we're going to work from the first big toe at the base all the way to the 3rd toe in that nice same movement. So we're working along the neck area again, along the thyroid to the 3rd toe. So there's nice finger pressures keep support at all times. Pull the toes back slightly so we create a ridge, and we open it up and work all the way along at the base of the toes with that same movement. And repeat a final time at the base of those toes. Come down to our diaphragm line, so where our chest sticks out, we have our nice diaphragm line, and work from this area all the way back up to the base of the toes, working all the lungs, ensuring we've got full support of that foot and in our nice rhythm and our nice pressures. So working up from that diaphragm line all the way across the lung area, up to the neckline and along the base of the toes. Ensure we keep our nice rhythm, so we don't rush. We use the same rhythm as we started with, the same pressure, and begin to feel any differences in each pressure that we make that we might want to note down. So slowly working our way up to that baseline of the toes. We've covered the whole lung area, horizontally across from one side of the foot to the other, using those nice pressures, those nice caterpillar movements with our thumb. And finally,